Aw, man. Really? Really? This is hilarious, man. So I woke up and I wanted to make a video talking about the Jim Rutherford comments on Sportsnet 650 from yesterday. If you hadn't been seeing it, Jim Rutherford, for some reason or another, has been doing some sort of a media press tour with all the podcasts and radio shows and everywhere else he can get a microphone. And as the guy that Jim Rutherford is, he has been very vocal about specific things that happen within the Vancouver Canucks organization. He's been speaking out a ton about stuff. And I was going to let this one slide, because I was like, yeah, okay, that's not that big of a deal. Is that really warranting a video here? Because Jim Rutherford did have a few comments that were maybe subtle jabs to the former coaching staff and to potentially Rick Tocchet's system. I wasn't going to make a video about it. I was like, okay, we're going to make a video about all the other stuff that he said and maybe just toss in the subtle jabs that he tossed in there. But then we saw Rick Tocchet take stage and give a press conference as the new head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers. And it looks like he just threw a jab right back. We've got subtle jabs, subtle shots, both Rutherford and Tocchet taking a little bit of a dig at the opposing party. And maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I thought this was absolutely hilarious. So let's go out there and look firstly at what Jim Rutherford said yesterday on 650. This is one of the many things that he had said on 650, but Adam Kierszenblat has the tweet right here. First of all, I believe we could have had more offense last year if we just shot the puck in a number of games where we actually had a scoring chance. So, and for some reason, the players wanted to pass the puck when the scoring chance was there. Whose fault is that? Is that the coaching staff's fault? Is that the personnel, the players' fault? Whose fault is it when the president of the hockey club says on the radio, yeah, we didn't shoot enough. There were a lot of chances to shoot. We didn't. And I know it's like, he's not really on the team per se. He's not playing, but he's the president. So yeah, I guess we is technically correct here. But Rutherford specifically calling out either the system or the psyche, and when you think about the Canucks in 24-25, you will say, hey, these guys did not shoot. These guys deferred to Quinn Hughes. These guys would have really good looks, and instead of gripping it and ripping it, they'd go wing to wing to try to get that perfect 1T shot through. It wouldn't work. They'd go back to Quinn, and he'd try to work his magic. But for the Vancouver Canucks, if all 5 Canucks players on the ice had the same activation thoughts as Quinn Hughes did, rather than just deferring, you know, you want to go out there and make something happen yourself. You don't want to just pass it off. You're not too confident in your own puck skills or something. You don't want to risk shooting it over the goal or having it ricochet to the opposite team. You're just too scared to get a shot through. Rutherford says that the Canucks last year were too passy-passy, and they didn't shoot. Is that on the coaching staff? Honestly, I think it is. And when you think about the strategies, yeah, Rick Tocchet, he wants his guys to pass it back to the point, to pass it to a D-to-D. He spoke about this on TNT. That's his strategy. No playing the puck down low. No making fancy moves and trying to cut into the middle. Nah, just pass it back to the point. Phil DiGiuseppe to Noah Juleson, over to a one-timer, Desharnais. That's the kind of stuff that we would see out of Tocchet hockey. And Rutherford, it seems like he did take a shot at that. Again, I was going to let this slide. But then Rick Tocchet goes out there with a very subtle dig on the Vancouver Canucks. Take a look at this. Ryan Henderson posted about it. An interesting comment from Rick Tocchet about the Flyers practice facility. It's clearly important to him. And in this 30-second video, he says in the video, I walked around the practice facility here, and there are so many tools to work with. There are 3 sheets of ice. And as a coach, you're like, oh my God, these are the things that you want as a coach. And then he says in the video, those are attractive things. Ugh. Okay. Okay, Rick, I get it. You know, he really wanted that practice facility. Vancouver didn't have one. It's bad that they don't have one. I'm not gonna say that it's, you know, a good thing, but still. Everybody has been making a big buzz about the practice facility not being here in Vancouver. Real estate's expensive, Francesco doesn't want to spend it, yada yada yada, but I think, for me personally, my perspective really changed when Jannik Hansen said on Sportsnet 650 a few Fridays ago that you don't need a practice facility in order to be a good hockey team. There are enough resources in Vancouver to get the team functioning and doing their thing. And while it is true that the practice facility is probably a necessity in today's NHL, with all the advanced training and equipment and regimens and diet plans and all the other things that hockey teams have to try to give themselves that extra little edge, Vancouver not having one certainly puts them at a disadvantage. But with Jannik Hansen, literally a former player and a Vancouver Canucks Stanley Cup finalist, going out there and saying, yeah, you don't need it necessarily to win. You can still do well. There are enough resources in Vancouver to get what you need. It does kind of change my own perspective on viewing this situation as a whole. So, for Rick Tocchet to specifically fall in love with the Philadelphia Flyers practice facility and rave about it on the media front, it's like, yeah, okay, we got Rutherford saying that Tocchet's system didn't force the players to shoot enough, and we got Tocchet saying that, yeah, I already like being here because they've got a practice facility, and their practice facility gives me so many tools, and I can be a better coach because of it, and this and that, and he's implying that, yeah, Vancouver didn't have that. So, subtle jabs, eh? Okay. Yeah, you see, I was gonna make a video talking about only Rutherford and all the stuff that he had said on the radio yesterday, but I was like, yeah, that's a footnote right there. That comment that he made about the Canucks not shooting enough, that's a big deal. Hopefully Adam Foote gets that messaging and he's like, okay, yeah, these guys need to shoot. Sure, like, play it down low, make a fancy move, come in front, shoot. Stop just going over to the D-man and letting Noah Juleson clap bombs wide. Quinn Hughes can do it. Phil Hronek can do it. Even Elias Pettersson has a pretty underrated decent shot. But the rest of this team, man, they gotta start shooting, Tex. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Jim Rutherford's subtle jab at Rick Tocchet's system and style, and Rick Tocchet's subtle jab at Vancouver's lack of a practice facility, and how the practice facility in Philadelphia is one of the best parts about being the head coach of that team. Let me know in the comment section all your opinions. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.